This is Outlandish Zicky Dice, and you're watching the best of old school and new school. This is the Nation Network. Outlandish.
Everybody, welcome back to the Nation Network. There we go. Retro's in the house already. Look at you, right out the gate. I am on the second playthrough. I've already completed the second storyline, so I've pretty much unlocked 99% of what I'd be interested in unlocking. And what I'm doing right now is just adding more points to the board so that we can unlock the last few people. It's going to take a little doing, though. I don't know how much of it will get done today on this stream, but we've already gone through Odyssey Rift, which is 140 points. As you can see, we're at 150 points in the top left. These cards don't mean shit to me because I don't really play a whole lot of my faction online stuff, so I don't really care too much about the cards. But you do have an R-Truth unlockable Judgment Day attire. You do have the Demon Finn Balor unlockable, and another version of Diamond Dallas Page. But that's 280 points, and that's like 130 away. If we do it by simple math, 5-point match or 5-star matches, basically the points are stars, if you didn't know that already. So 5-star matches into, what did I say, 130? Yeah, you're looking at a bunch of matches. So I'm thinking if I do 4 or 5 a day in a week's time, I should be there. So it's kind of what I'm doing. I'm just messing around and have a little bit of fun with it. I don't mind. I have nothing else planned. Didn't feel like doing anything else so far as continuing XWF or any of that. Taking a day off from all that, so. Let's see, it was about to work on Season 2 last night. My test recording in disaster. Dun, dun, dun. What does a disaster really look like? I mean, if you're not on the Titanic or the Hindenburg, aside from that, what does a disaster looks like?
I know you're way above this, but,
TBT
could you
rules?
consider this
No.
match?
Rebook
Just doing my
it.
job here,
False
boss.
count anywhere. What the hell, we'll take it. Things are all right with me. Thank you for asking. I'm 2 real American beers deep into it right now.
The following contest is a falls.
So on my second playthrough, I basically chose Cassie, which means I am the heel. As Cassie, of course, turns. Oh, this idiot again. I never played it all the way through last year to even figure out how this anomaly thing, or whatever the hell they call it, comes into play in the storyline. And I've already unlocked her, but I'll never use her for anything. Maybe Halloween I'll do a special or something and she'll play a role in a Halloween show. But other than that, I would have no use for that. She's got a ridiculously special, what do you call those get back moments there? I forget what they call them. It'd be fun for an Undertaker, but you're literally levitating your opponent above the ring, which is kind of hokey. I already forgot to do something. You should try and do this early on, I've seen, because, and you'll see in a minute probably, presentation options, turn that on, so that you can see what your star ratings are as the match is continuing. What I have learned, if you don't do that very early in the match, like right now it's working and it's showing you how you're gaining more and more stars, so you know that when you hit the 5 stars, then you can stop the match and pretty much just win it. But as you can see right here, I think, let's see if I'm right. Yeah, it's not showing it building up anymore. So where it would normally start to show you that that meter's filling up, it's not doing it because I didn't change it over immediately. So like as soon as the bell rings, you want to switch that over, and then it should be good for the match. But for whatever reason, when you do it mid-match like this, a couple of things will happen. Number one, it won't do it. Number two, it may crash your game. That's happened too. Let's go back to here. Let's turn it off again. And now let's try it again just for shits and giggles. Now what it will do here is it'll update it to whatever stars you've gained, but it may not continue to show you gaining as you go. Like there, let's see if it works now. Yeah, it seems like it's working now, maybe. Maybe. Yeah, all right, now it's working. So yeah, to avoid that, just do it immediately when the game starts, or the match starts, as soon as they ring the bell. So you want to hit all your taunts in there, and that'll help it boost up. Obviously, as you replay things, then it doesn't work as well. I like to use the hardcore matches because it loves it when you use chairs and tables. And you can use them over and over again and get points and raise your star rating. This is what, anywhere amount falls, so that means we can use some shit. Get out of the way, buddy. And it gives you a pretty good reward for using the chair. The drama goes way up. Obviously, the damage is way up. And that's how you get a shorter match out of it. And I also forgot to set this to the easy setting, which makes it even faster. I'm not sure if we're on normal or hard right now. I was going to say, by now that chair should be about worthless. No tables? All right, kendo stick it is. Yeah, again, this creature manifestation is what it's called. And it was featured in last year's MyRISE, but I never played last year's MyRISE to completion. So I don't know how this character... Yeah, you don't see this character in this year's game other than this, it's unlockable. So last year's story is where this thing would have come in, but I've got no clue how this stupid thing existed. So we're already up to 4 stars pretty much. And by hitting our finisher, our signature and our finisher should pretty much put us there. But just to be on the safe side. Manifestation not doing well at all. Reverse Irish whip. This probably won't get us the 5 stars, but let's see what we got. Four and a half. Will we get to 5? No. But we will in a second. No? Thought that would have done it. You missed me, bitch. Ooh, caught me that time. I'd have had you, but I need the points. And that's it. So you get your 5 stars pretty quick. Now I figure if I run 4 of these in my spare time a day, that's 20 points. Do that for 5 days, you got 100 points. Look at us doing math over here. Blaze Radio. Blaze Radio in the house. What's up, Mr. McCoy? Derek Lawrence from the Virgin Island. I think I went to school with him. Oh, come on, man. Gotta love MyRISE. No battle royal glitch. I keep, every time I get on, first thing I do is see if I can update the game. And it's like, you have the most recent version. I'm like, shit. The most recent version sucks. They got a lot of fixing to do. A lot of fixing to do. Yeah, you don't have the problem now. It'll show up right after they patch it. Manifestation, masturbation, yeah, something Asian. Yeast infection, something like that. Yeah, well, these aren't being rated by Meltzer, so you have a chance. You have a reasonable chance without Meltzer being involved. Hey, none of that virgin talk around here. All right, Blaze, let's be honest for a minute here. Imagine that somehow your ass got thrown into the Royal Rumble in real life. Don't sit here and tell me you're not going to eliminate yourself. The hell you aren't going to stay in there with like Drew McIntyre coming after you. You're going to get the fuck out. So some of these are just pussies. When they eliminate themselves, they're pussies. All right.
I wouldn't dare
Casket match takes more time.
But here's a match that might keep you interested.
There you go. KO only. Know that you won't get your 5 stars.
Worthy of my time,
Submission.
or I'll make an example out of you.
Yeah, submission will work. William Weir's in the house. Welcome aboard. Pro wrestling breeds virgins. I don't know that it breeds them, but it gives them a place to call home. Exactly. That may, and you know what? Maybe that's why it's in the game this year. Maybe it's not a glitch after all. Maybe it's inspired by McAfee and it's an Easter egg. Did we ever think of that? Huh? Did we? No, we didn't. You know what else we didn't do? We didn't hit the like button. Everybody hit that like button. Like it. Love it. Give me a like for Cassidy Dalton's ass. Yeah, remember, you were not up to 100% when you did that.
From Richmond, Virginia, Danielle Wallace.
Who the hell is this one? She's not unlockable or nothing. Not that I would use her for anything necessarily. Some of these no-name characters are like the most bland. Look at that outfit. By the way, I put some more stuff up on community creation, so just do a search for the number 1, the word nation, if you're interested in seeing what it is. There's the bell. There's the boot to the face. And I already forgot what stipulations are in this match, but I'm pretty sure it's anything goes or something like that. One way to find out. Oh, yeah, we got tables. We got a lot. Oh, I think it was a submission match. I thought maybe it'd go over the top. Seems like they can throw theirs over the top, but I've had a lot of trouble clearing that rope. Come on, bitch, bring it. Yeah, you remember that table. You're going to be kissing it in a minute. Come on. Come on. Here's your sign. Somebody getting her step in, man, and working on her cardio. Oh! That's going to leave a mark. Whatever goes up must go down. Almost on top of the stop sign, too. Trying to think what moveset I got here so far as what I can possibly do to drill her into the stop sign there. Get up. Get up. Eat that. It's banged up, it's dented, but it still works. Oh, bitch. Right back at you. All right, let's see what happens here. Keep forgetting to do it at the start of the match. Nope. And once again, it doesn't fill up, but if we go out here. And then we go right back. Might work now. Let's see. No? Yeah. Again, you have to get it right at the bell, and I wasn't thinking about it. So every once in a while, I'll just refresh it and see how many stars I got. Well, I must have stars, man. I'm in the spotlight. Cassidy's on fire. Boom. Why would you carry the tag titles? I thought the referee's supposed to do that. Oh, she caught me, bitch. That didn't work out the way he thought it was gonna. No, we're almost up to 4 stars. Let's see. Yeah, this time around, it's not coming back, so. Oh, no, you did not. Look at what I got. She gave her a facial. Set up for the big kibosh. Feint hip toss. Not bad, not bad. Well, you're going to do a lot more than that to tap this girl out. Not happening. Here we go. Shazam! See if she's in the submission kind of mood today. Oh, I think she a tapper. I think she's a tapper.
Here is your winner, Cassidy.
Yeah, we're at least a couple patches away from a game that's reasonably working. And that's assuming they decide to focus on all these things we're telling them about. Since we're testing their game for the small fee of $130. Creator Wrestler is working somewhat. I did not pay the somewhat fee, though. That's the problem. What's up, Judd? What's good in the hood? That's interesting. I've never checked to see if mine's saved. Everything I've done in Universe, like match-wise, is saved, which is the first time ever. Every other game that never got fixed. And I just presumed that if I had set anything speed-wise, that it was saving it. Yeah, the matches just generally aren't going to last as long. I don't remember what channel it was on. I suppose I can pull them up on mine because I basically copied his settings because he spent like 50 hours testing them, and I'm not going to do that. So I trust the man. But it does matter if you're simming the matches that you put it on hard or legendary and things like that. That'll make it last longer. That's what she said.
Okay, I know it's not much.
Normal
but you're the star here.
match.
So,
Sure.
maybe.
We can still run one up to 5 stars pretty easy. Blaze, he called you radio. How cute. I'm messing with you, Judd. I mean, you are cute. Don't get me wrong. I'm sure you're a damn fine-looking man.
The following contest is scheduled for one fall. Making her
Ooh, Piper Niven time. Hey, look who remembered. Options, presentation. And now we should be fine. And I think it's because we hadn't scored any points or anything yet. I think once you've already scored points, that's what makes it difficult to turn it on. Oh, right in the face of that one. Look at a leg. Could be a quick match. Piper Niven thinking she's Chelsea. You ain't no Chelsea. You know Daisy. Oh, that was awkward as hell. Both of them took a hit on that one. Throwing caution to the wind. Got Piper off her feet. Neck breaker. Put the big bitch down. Let's do this. Piper Niven in trouble. Sets her up. The Destroyer. No, not yet. I need another 1.5 points before I let your bitch ass off the hook. Coup de grace. Gotcha. Sucker. Boom! Turn out the lights, sweet darling. This will put us close to that 5-star. One exactly what I had in mind, but that's all right. Oh, overshot the target. Big girl go boom. Get up. Shit, missed it. Going for the 5. Got to break it up, though, because it didn't get there. See, I wouldn't have got credit for the 5 points if I score it before. Now I can do it, which is stupid. But it's 2K. What the hell? Yeah, arenas are pretty safe. I was just starting to look a little bit just for like WCW, just to see what people have got up there and stuff like that. Wasn't anything that, blew my mind or anything like that, but I might do search for like NWA next. I haven't done that yet. First thing I normally check is my Twitter feed, because I got a lot of creators on there. Where are we at now with points? What's the point situation? 165. Well, that means we just picked up the Baron Blade Sapphire card. We've got the Geneva Rose Sapphire card. And in 15 more points, we'll get Zero's Sapphire card. So 210, that means we are, 50 points, basically about 45 points away from getting Like I said, we just added 15 points. Didn't take all that long, about a half hour or so. Let's bounce out of this. All right, I'll show you what I've posted up there. I wasn't even really necessarily interested in having these particular, one of them anyway. DiBiase, I wasn't really looking forward to, or making one. Didn't plan on having one. Didn't really care if he was in the game or not. That all said, I saw several different ones being put up there that I just felt like, man, it doesn't quite grab it for me. And I said, well, let me see what I can do. And again, I don't use any face scans at all this year. This is all just what's in the game. And I feel pretty good about the way this one turned out. I did a lot of looking at photographs and stuff like that. And I constantly tweaked the face and the shape and all that a bunch. But at the end of the day, I like this. I think it came out. Might be a little extra in the traps, but I needed his body to be the right thickness, and the other ones didn't really feel right. But yeah, that's the one that I did, and he's up and available online. So if you're looking for DiBiase, I tell you to check that one out. And another one I definitely wasn't going to make because he's going to be in the game later, and when that does happen, I'll just delete this. But he is still my all-time favorite wrestler. And same thing, I saw a couple of Titos out there that I was just like, no, that's not Tito Santana. Again, no face scan or anything like that. A lot of picture references, although him, I can kind of do it without the picture reference because, again, this is a guy I've watched for many, many years. And I've made these created wrestlers of him over the years over and over again, too. So it wasn't all that hard for me to come up with something that I think looks pretty reasonably close. Speaking of Tito Santana, hold on a moment here. Let me entertain you. I was messing around on Cameo the other day to see if there was anybody I wanted to get to maybe do a shout out for the beginning of the videos that it's usually like once a year. I'll try to find a new one to freshen it up a little bit. And I've used Tito in the past to do that. And he still has very reasonable prices. He's not one of these guys that's asking for $30, $40 or anything like that. And I thought, well, I don't really need him to do a shout out, but I would definitely like to hear his thoughts on my all-time favorite feud, which is Tito Santana against Greg the Hammer Valentine. So I think it was about $10, if I'm not mistaken. There was an option to pay like another $7 to have it within 24 hours. I'm like, I'm not in that big a hurry. Whenever he gets around to it, he can do it. Literally 10 minutes later, it was done. I'm like, Tito's the man. Gotta love Tito. So here he is answering my questions, which was basically, I told him his feud with Valentine is the greatest of all time. And asked him like what his thoughts and memories of that feud were. So here's what he says.
This is WWE Hall of Famer Tito Santana giving a shout out to a great fan.
Who's that?
Somebody who knows his wrestling.
Yeah, who?
Yes, it's you, Vince.
Me?
Thank you for being a Tito Santana fan.
Thank you.
Thank you for being a Legends fan. You are right. The feud between the Hammer and myself was the longest feud in the history of the WWF.
How about that?
Why was that successful? The reason it was successful is because the people bought into the knee operation, which was legit. The injury was legit. And every time we stepped into the ring, we used to beat the crap out of each other. people believed. We were selling out arenas without Hulk Hogan on the card. That was the first. It felt good. I mean, we programmed some towns like Miami, which was not even 10% full when we first went there. When we got done, I think we ended up in Miami having a tape fist match. The place was sold out. No Hulk. It was a great feud. It'll be remembered forever, especially by the good wrestling fans. Arriba!
Tito Santana. I'm going to see if I can get him to sit down for an hour and do an interview. I would love to just ask him tons of questions about his career. So, yeah, that was interesting to hear about the fact that they were selling out shows without Hogan on the card back then. Again, for anyone who wasn't around at that time, you need to do yourself a favor and check that out. There's a bunch of the videos on YouTube. Try to put them chronologically to the best of your ability. There is a steel cage match, which I believe took place in Baltimore, if memory serves. That's the last match of the feud. You don't want to watch that until the end. You want to save it for the end. So even if you watch the other ones and they're a little jumbled out of order, won't be a big difference maker. But make sure you save the cage match for the last. Even if you only watch 4 or 5 of those matches, I'm sure the video's out there of the injury angle that they ran where Valentine wouldn't release the figure 4. But that cage match, there's some of that shit that you see nowadays once in a while, but back then you never saw that stuff. The way that cage match ended, it was the first time you ever saw that. And then what happened afterwards with the belt and everything else, and then it all led to history after that. So, phenomenal feud. Perfect ending. Couldn't have done it any better. Right down to the point where they needed to bring in the new Intercontinental title that we now refer to as the Classic, the one that Macho Man held, and Santana held it first, and then Macho Man and Perfect and Bret the Hitman and all the rest. But it all came about, that championship title belt, all came about because of what happened with Santana and Valentine. So a lot of history in there. I did not know about the whole selling out without Hogan stuff. Didn't surprise me because it was a hot feud. We were all into it. So anyway, he's posted as well. And one of my favorite things to do when I'm goofing around like this, where I don't really want to do anything specific, is to do some window shopping and try to figure out who's doing what. Oh, Retro, you missed my Tito Santana interview. You'll have to go back and check that out. Yeah, Steamboat's cool, but he's in the game, so I don't have to worry about that one. So out of my personal favorite creators... Oh, wait, no, these are overall. Sorry, take that back. Zip. Let's see what's happening in the top 5 pages. If any movement has occurred. If anybody's moved their way up. Anyone who didn't catch NXT and what happened at the end, it only happens once on TV, but there's been some live fan footage. After Ricky gets jumped, spoiler alert, by Ethan at the very end, and Ethan's holding the belt up, right before they cut away, you can hear the first round of the chant, but apparently it went on for a little bit. Tony fumbled. Tony fumbled. You can hear the first one, but there's some fan camera stuff up where it went on for a good 30, 40 seconds. It's too bad. You know, you'll hear that again as the feud goes. Once they actually get into the ring and they have those magical moments, it'll happen again. Tony fumbles a lot, by the way. Just saying. He could play for the New York Giants. He fumbles so much. show speed. Kiss my ass, you little piece of shit. You have a question? For $100, you can buy a vowel. Kumiko Emp Tanaka. I'm guessing that's an AEW name because I do not know who that is. No idea. I wonder if John Moxley has the board stuck in his back in this one. No. One of the video games being made by an independent creator, and I couldn't tell you the name of it offhand. I just saw a clip of it on YouTube, has already put that stupid board spot into the game. I mean, waste no time at all. The wrestler goes walking around with his board stuck in his back, and the guy drop kicks it from behind to drive it further in. I'm like, yeah, that's a game I won't be buying. Same way I don't watch AEW. I'm not going to watch that kind of shit. I was actually listening to a little bit of Vince Russo on his podcast talking about that spot. So, bro, what's next? I guess next we just impale people, right? What do we take a knife and stick it through their chest? He's right. Where do you go next? He also brought up another good point. They gotta be fucking kidding me, bro. They did that shit with all the executives watching. You just signed a contract, you stupid fucks. You gonna get it. I don't know, man. I don't know that real people don't watch the program. Like wrestling fans don't watch the program. It's just the AEW faithful at this point. They're not going to call in on it. There's a Britt Baker, but my boy Dre is working on one that's looking like amazing. And I don't know, who's this? Sidious some game or something like that. And my all-time favorite Britt Baker attire will always be that all Pittsburgh outfit with the nice Pittsburgh jacket that had the logos on it and stuff. This doesn't look bad, though. I'll say that. It doesn't look bad. But I'm going to go with my boy Dre when his comes out. If there was a promotion that I wanted to salvage from total destruction, which one would it be? So we're talking about one that currently still exists or one that is defunct? Because like AEW and NWA both currently exist. It could be argued as to which one is the more popular of the two, although they are definitely battling for basement. Personally, if I could bring one back and do something with it, it would be AWA. If I had to select from the losers that currently exist, yeah, one that exists. Yeah. I mean, I suppose at the end of the day, based on what everyone has today, I would go with AEW because they have the TV contracts. So whatever I do will be seen by some group of people, and at least it'll get some buzz. NWA does not get any social media at all. If you were to revive the AWA, that in itself would get some publicity going. M-Hawk's in the house. I really don't have a lot of WCCW background. I watched some of it more on the network. I was watching several episodes, like maybe the first season or two. So that's back when it was on ESPN. I'd dabble in it here and there, but I was never a diehard WCCW guy. And they had that Texas style of wrestling to them, and I wasn't a massive honor. I liked Kerry. Wasn't even watching when David was active. He had already passed away before I started watching their product. I saw the Dingo Warrior when he first came out. Thought he was a little over the top. So out of the current ones, really reluctantly, I would take AEW simply because of the TV contract. Based on name, I would prefer NWA, but that, man, that's been dead so long. I don't know what you could even do with it, no matter who booked it. But if I had it, I would go right back to where Billy started, which was the original NWA TV set with the blue and the gold. The ring would definitely go back to the blue and the gold. Why he went black and silver, no fucking idea. The one thing he had going for you was the nostalgia. And then it's the whole roster, man. You've just got to go out and get better talent. You don't have a lot of talent there. You got a couple here and there, but, you know, when Tony started, he had a good roster. Not a phenomenal roster, but he had a good one. By the way, I was checking this one out earlier. This Spawn, if you're not a Spawn fan, you might not appreciate it, but I was a big Spawn fan back in the day. Got still a bunch of the comic books. And somewhere packed away, I've got some of the McFarlane action figures, which were phenomenally done. But this thing looks so tight. If I had any way of... Again, maybe Halloween. Maybe I'll grab him for Halloween and do a Halloween special again. Yeah, see, that's the whole thing. Back in these days, it was territorial. So if you were in their territory, that's all you would know. Like, I was the opposite. I was growing up in New York. All we had was WWF. Didn't know there was any other wrestling out there. But then you start seeing these wrestling magazines. And as you read those, you realize, oh, my goodness, there's other wrestling in other places. And all you would see there are the pictures. There wasn't even VHS at that time, really. And you'd hear about their feuds, and you'd hear about what happened. You see some photographs of what happened. I am on console, PS5. It just baffles me, though, that no matter what region you were in, that you couldn't, that you wouldn't have heard of Hulk Hogan because it was so big a deal in the 80s, especially once you get to 83, 84. Even when he was the AWA, he was a pretty big deal. Fuck around and find out. There you go. John Morrison, Jake Paul. Matt Riddle. Yeah, that's what I need. Let's see what Matt Riddle looks like. That's actually not bad. Looks pretty good. Yeah, Bill Watts' UWF was really solid stuff. This is going to be bad. I don't know why we even do it. Oh, God, it's terrible. Why would he wear the Ulafala? That looked more like a Steamboat Willie, to be honest with you. Yeah, the Funks were also big. Blanchard's back then was a big deal, too. That whole Mid-South region, and to me, that's still Mid-South, technically. I mean, Texas is not on the West. I don't know why anybody would ever refer to it as Midwest. To me, it's Mid-South. Well, they did make some horror movies very quickly with the old Mickey Mouse, the Steamboat Willie version, because Disney couldn't keep the copyrights on it any longer. And they're not real happy about it. Mandy Rose. Surprised she hasn't come back yet. I thought she might have shown up at the Rumble, even if it was just for the Rumble. It would have been very interesting to see what kind of pop she'd have got. And I'm still amazed that Joe Hendry is not going to be, presuming he's not the mystery celebrity or some kind of swerve. Or maybe they're just going to say, surprise, here's Joe Hendry. He's available for $5.99 or something like that. Although it wouldn't shock me at all if they put him into the fucking My Faction. You have to unlock him like they did with Big Papa Pump. But that would piss so many people off, especially if you made it a difficult challenge. Jay White looks pretty good. Crown Jewel. How many of y'all know who Grimace even is? Anybody know who Grimace is? M-Hawk, what are you doing, man? No. Listen to me. You don't look good. I think you've got a fever. You need to call them and tell them you're not coming in today. Go get you some fluids. Hopefully it's got hops, barley. Just sit down and chill. You know, you got to get right before you go back. You don't want to get everybody sick. Yeah, a lot of people don't know who Grimace is anymore. I don't know, man. McDonald's dropped the ball when it comes to their campaigns. You had the Hamburglar, you had Grimace, you had Ronald. I feel like I'm missing a horse or something like that. I think there was an animal of some sort. You're already here. All right, I'm going to help you. Go get a packet of oatmeal from somewhere. Take a handful of that shit, stick it in your mouth, let it sit there for about a minute and a half, and then do on the floor. The fries, guys. Look at this. Now you're making me want to create a new faction. Quick, let me get Grimace. And I'm not giving you that whole hint about the oatmeal like I've ever done it before. I'm just saying it works. So I've been told. King Kong Bundy, man, it's still hard to make a good King Kong Bundy. I'm not feeling that neck at all. From the back, it looks better. Oh, wait a minute. We have news? No, I did not hear this. What do we have? Celebrities are I Show Speed, of course. Shaq. I can have a little fun with Shaq. Halle Burton, I have no idea what that even is. Pacers and Jalen Brunson, no idea. I'm sure they're current. I don't watch NBA at all. Celtics, I saw a screenshot of the files in the game with their names on them, unless it was a fake. I'm going to hope it's a fake, to be honest with you, but it certainly sounds logical enough, and in that sense we're using 2K logic. I mean, the only name in any of that I would have the slightest interest in would be Shaq. Because he's at least been part of wrestling. He had that match with Jade. He was the referee for Flair and Hogan. And he was my favorite player for the Orlando Magic back in the day. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. There's no Hamburglar. No Nick Bundy. Bundy and Notorious B.I.G. looking a whole lot alike, sort of. The Green Goblin. I enjoy just doing this a lot, just floating around, seeing what people are creating. Tyrese Halliburton plays for, yeah, again, I wouldn't know. He was shown in the crowd on WWE TV, of course. Easter eggs. So was Jalen Brunson, who plays for the Knicks. The Knicks still have a team? Damn. Who was also on WWE TV in the crowd, but that's it. Yeah, I mean, that would be a perfect Easter egg to drop these guys being in the crowd. Oh, we're getting the Saturday Night Main Event arena, too, from what I heard. Which, that's kind of cool. I wish they would do Not just the current one, but maybe an old school one, but that ain't going to happen. Maybe they'll throw it in as a surprise when they drop the Saturday Night Main Event pack at the end in November. Here we got Ronaldo. You know, if you're going to put a celebrity in the game, might as well be Ronaldo, right? Harley Quinn. Let's see if it's any good. Yeah, it's all right. Knicks are like third in the East. Isn't that special? So, where I work, we have the Orlando Magic's minor league team. The G League, as it's referred to, Gatorade League. And pretty much all of us that work at the facility are ready for their season to end so they can go away because the organization, just pain in the ass. I mean, they're such prima donna. Not the player. Players are cool. I've never had a problem with a player. And the staff that work for the team, you know, like they got young guys that go around and collect the uniforms and wash them and all that kind of, and they're super cool people. But once you get into their management, oh yeah. Just pain in the asses. And none of us, doesn't matter what division you're in, none of us matter to them. They just say, oh, by the way, yeah, we're going to have 700 people here in about 3 hours, so you need to take care of that with little to no notice, you know. So we're all over it. We want, they're in single elimination in the playoffs, okay? So they finished in first overall in the East. Yay. Which is what they did last year. And then they went to single elimination. Well, as number one seed, they draw a first round bye. And then they hosted last year Long Island, who they had just beat twice the week before. So that should be an easy win, except, oops, they lost again. So they were done, one game and out. And I'm like, please let it happen again this year. Please let it happen again this year. So I'm sitting around, messing around on the computer last night, and I'm like, oh, shit, let me see what the score's doing. And Orlando was up by like 29 points in the third quarter. And I'm like, all right, this is where they blow it every fucking game. They have blown massive leads over and over and over again. And I'm watching, and sure as hell, little by little, they chip away at the lead. It was the Indiana Pacers team. And they chip away, and they chip away. It ain't pretty basketball at all, man. This is just, and that's why I can't watch it, man. I coached 16 years of high school and college. I cannot watch this crap. It was so embarrassing. But anyway, they chip away the league. Guy on the Indiana team shooting a three, gets fouled, misses the basket. They give him the free throw. Free throw singular. In this league, you get one free throw if you're fouled on the three-point line. If it goes in, you get the 3 points. I'm like, what the fuck is this shit? What bastardization is this? It's like Snow White 2.0 or 3.0 in this case. I'm like, holy cow, you have really raped the game now. But anyway, he hit his free throw. We got the 3 points, and I'm like, all right, works for me. Let's just keep going, keep going. They got it down to like 9 points. I'm going to get a beer and some more chicken. Sit down, I'm watching this, and as soon as I get my beer and my chicken, here comes Mac McClung, our star player in Orlando. Comes across the half-court line by like 2 steps, pulls up with a Caitlin Clark, drills it. I was like, never mind, we're done. And sure as hell, they went on to win, so that means we get another game on Sunday, also single elimination. We're also hoping that's it. This one should be a nail-biter either way. This one's against the Indiana Pacers minor league team, and statistically, side-by-side comparison that I was doing, this should be decided in the last 30 seconds, possibly of overtime. Who knows? But God forbid they win another one. And I think after that, it would be the finals. And it's best of 3. But I am just ready for them to be done. It's harder to find things like a Rick Rude when he's already in the game. A lot of people aren't going to go to the effort. There'll be people out there that'll have the different costumes and attires and stuff, which, by the way, I should be doing that. But so far as recreating him and getting the short hair look and all that, A lot of people don't want to do that simply because they feel like he's already in the game. Yeah, is it Matt or Mac? I think it's MAC, Mac McClung. He's a legit player. I mean, I'm not going to take a thing away from him. He's legit, and he wins the slam dunk competition every year. So, let's see what the attires are doing here. No, I'm not feeling that. I'm looking for the classics. Yeah, I think I misspoke. The Indiana Mad Ants are the ones that just lost last night to us. So next up is the Celtics team. Let's see what this got. No. I like the first one, but the other one, no. See, that's the classic right there, but you have the same trunks twice. Why did you do that? With all the different styles you have to choose from. That's got the Warrior, though. No, I don't want that. I don't want anything that's match specific. Those look interesting, but pretty much the same, just different color. The Maine Celtics, correct. Prime time in the house. What's up, buddy? Boring. Yeah, I mean, I thought it might be interesting watching one of these games. I've seen him in person a few times. And again, Mac's a good player. I mean, he's talented enough. That's what I'm looking for. I'll take that. I'm a little surprised that the Magic don't have him playing more regularly on their team. I know they have a new two-way deal this year. I just read something about it briefly. Didn't even know there was all these different rules and regulations about how many games you can play here, there, and the other place. We also had a guy last year that played with him. Last name, I believe, was Queen, if I'm not mistaken, who was pretty damn good. And I think the Magic called him up and like he's on their main roster, perhaps. I don't watch it. I don't know. But I'm just saying last year, I was a little surprised that they didn't do better. But at the same time, I wasn't, and I'll tell you why. You'll appreciate this one, Mr. McCoy. They, I guess, it was their first year in Central Florida. They've been playing in Lakeland for several years, I guess. So it was their first year in Central Florida. And I guess they had a young coach, and it was his first year as being a coach. And if I'm not mistaken, it was the second game of the season. And the game is over by about 20 minutes or so, and then one of the managers at the facility comes up and says, hey, just so you know, the GM of the team wants to apologize. I'm like, apologize for what? I thought, you step on someone's foot? Well, apparently it was the coach's first win, and they went and celebrated with champagne, and it's all over the locker room. And I'm thinking to myself, well, who's cleaning that shit up? Not for anything, it was a brand new locker room. It was like literally a month old and only 2 games into the season, right? And I'm like, you celebrated with champagne because you won your first game of the season? What's left? Where do you go? Again, I've coached 16 years. We ain't celebrating shit. You bring hardware home and we will celebrate. You have a career night, you get an attaboy. But there ain't no fucking champagne. You want to get some value meals? We could do that. You want a pizza? We could do that. But we ain't doing champagne unless you got gold. And here they are beating Long Island twice in a row last year. And 2 weeks later, they're going to host them in a single elimination playoff game and lose. And I just told everyone right after that incident happened, watch what happens in the playoffs. I told them, you set the bar ridiculously stupid. Your priorities are all mixed up, which again, young coach, that happens. And then you're not prepared. And it showed. And I also kind of knew that because of what happened last year, they probably weren't going to lose last night, even though I was hoping. There's something about that bitter pill of defeat that will fuel you on the next year as long as you keep your core players together. Yeah, it's crazy stuff. Value meals for 50 wins. You're worse than me, man. I thought I was hookers for 100 wins. Well, that's never happening because they don't play that many games. I think they got like a 64-game season. And that's the other thing that sucks for us because the whole month of January, we've got that large auto auction going on. And it lasts like 10. I mean, the event itself is like 14 days long, but they pretty much have control of the majority of the property for almost a whole month. So the Magic have to play all of their road games in the month of January. Well, then they get back February, March, and April, and they got to make all their home games up. So they're playing like 2 and 3 a week. And we're just getting crushed right now with all these games on top of games on top of games, and nobody's getting any rest. So, again, we're ready for them to lose. And I'm pretty sure, I know they finished first in the East. I don't recall, and it also depends who comes out of the West as to whether we would have the home advantage for the 2 out of 3. And I'm guessing 2 out of 3, the team with the advantage plays games 1 and 2. That's my guess. Blaze, you probably know better than I do. Let me see. Mermaid, what is this mermaid? Was it mermaid? He had 2 different styles. Why are you calling them mermaids? Did I get screwed here? Did I get screwed? Nobody even give me any KY. Hold on a minute. Hold on a minute. Yeah, okay, they're 2 different ones. I always liked that one. I thought that was pretty good. Yeah, that works. The classic airbrushes. By the way, they're making pretty solid bank, too. It's like, I think Mac is making, I saw something online, over $500K. Which, in my book, is what all the NBA guys should be getting. 500 to 750. That's it, top dollar, 750,000. You're playing a game. You are not solving, economic woe for a nation. You're not coming up with a cure for cancer. You're not doing jack that matters to anything. You're playing a game. You're a form of entertainment. And if you would cap them at $750,000, now you can make whatever you make on endorsements. If you're that damn good and Nike wants to pay you, that's a different story. Then you make all that money you can. But so far as a job goes, and not for anything, Congress has shown that you can have a low-income job and become a millionaire. So it's not like I'm saying you can't make the money. I'm saying the league should cap it at 750,000, period. I don't care who you are. That's what the maximum is. Then all of a sudden, you don't necessarily have the same issues with markets where people don't want to play in them because they can get more money in this market or that market. That's number one. Number two, though, is the ticket prices are going to be affordable again for fans to actually go that are just regular fans, not lawyers and doctors. I'm not saying there's no regular fans there, but a lot of them can only afford one game at the ticket prices they're getting nowadays, where they might go to 2 or 3 if they were reasonable. I don't know when we allowed sports to get so out of control, and that's why I don't watch any of it anymore. They price themselves out for me. I just don't want to even see them. Yeah, I was saying, yeah. 578,000, that's a lot of fucking scratch, man. And that's fine. Again, now in his case, I'm not sure how he's making that money, because I can tell you right now, we ain't drawing nobody in the building. The only time they have a reasonable crowd is if it's a Sunday matinee, because then you got time to get home after the game. You don't have to rush for work and school in the morning. You know, you still have time to get your stuff together, to go to bed at a reasonable hour, get rest. Whereas all these other games are starting at 7 o'clock at night. So you're going until like 9-ish, 9:30. By the time you get home, get a shower, whatever. Some of those people don't shower. Who are we kidding? But for the ones that do. But they're averaging about anywhere from 200 to 450 a game. 200 people in the door. No, now I'm not sure how he gets 500 grand off of that, but it's definitely not off the door, and it's not on merchandise. Dude, I'm with you there. And some of these guys do. I mean, let's be real. Even if it's only because they get a hell of a tax write-off, okay, they're still doing it. A lot of guys will donate a decent sum of money to help other people out, whether it's a food bank or whatever. I mean, there's so many different charitable causes out there, and I do think a lot of them do that, and probably don't get the credit they should get for it. I'm just saying, if we paid people based on the value of what it is they contribute to the world, to society, how are you and what you do making things better for the masses? Those are the people that should be making millions of dollars, and some of them maybe are. A lot of them aren't. You know, you have doctors and physicians that are studying different diseases on a regular basis, trying to come up with cures for things like, and have come up with certain cures. And they're not making millions. They're not making what the, MVP quarterback of the Super Bowl's making. Not even a fraction of it. And not for nothing, aside from throwing a piece of pigskin around, what did he do? Just my thoughts. But that's why I don't watch any of them anymore. I just heard on the radio that, what the hell's his name? Ovechkin, Washington Capitals. I'm assuming he's still with the Capitals. He was last I heard. Is 3 goals away from breaking Wayne Gretzky's record, and I was just like, man, this is going to sound crazy. I just hope he breaks his ankle and can't play anymore. I don't want Wayne Gretzky's records to be broken. He was the classiest player in sports history. For those that don't know, Wayne Gretzky, when he was the man, dominated Edmonton. He was like a god in Edmonton. And it got to the point where Edmonton could not afford him. And they had to trade him. They didn't want to, they had to. Gretzky's wife, who was an actress, got a lot of heat because the fans were saying it was her fault. She's making him leave. And it wasn't the case. They financially couldn't afford him. So he gets with DiBartolo, who was the owner of the Los Angeles Kings, and they work out a deal where he's going to go to the Los Angeles Kings. And I forget what the dollar amount was, and we're talking about going back in the early 90s at this point. So this was like big fucking money. So, and it was hockey. It wasn't like baseball or football. And they, I want to say it was 15 mil was what they offered him. And he's like, no, that's too much. And he's like, no, this is what you're getting. You're the highest paid player in the league. You should be the highest paid player in the league. You're the best player in the league. And this is what I'm giving you. And after a back and forth of, that's too much, no, he finally said, okay, fine. Takes the money, walks into the LA Kings locker room on day one, and writes checks to each player on the team for like whatever it was. I don't remember. It was in his book. Let's say $25,000 a piece. I don't know. Whatever it was. Just starts cutting these guys checks and giving them to everybody on the team. Now, when you can show me another athlete who's ever done that, let me know if they're currently playing, and I might watch them. The only player I will watch today is Caitlin Clark because she does it the right way. I did get a little upset with her when she took the knee recently and tried apologizing for her whiteness. That pissed me off a little bit. I do kind of understand why she's doing it because she wants to have a career, and these girls are just brutalizing her. And these referees should be fired and replaced because they're allowing it and they know what's happening. And the league, I mean, I thought she was done. I thought she went to Europe, and that's it. She was done with the WNBA. Now it turns out she's not done with the WNBA. She should be done with the WNBA. There is nothing there for her. There is nothing there. They showed that is nothing more than a ghetto league. These women can't handle the fact that a white girl's doing well. I'm sorry. I had no problem rooting for Michael Jordan. I had no problem rooting for Patrick Ewing and Charles Barkley. Why the hell is it so bad that a white girl's hell of a basketball player? I just don't get it. But I'll watch her. Saga, you're right about the advertising dollars, but that's, again, the league, the owners, they're the ones with all the risk. They're the ones that are putting up the product and buying the time, hoping that their advertising companies are going to come there and give them this money. And if it doesn't happen, they're the ones that are going to eat it. But again, even that, talk about that for a minute. What did it cost for a Super Bowl ad? That's obscene. There are these people on YouTube that are considered professional eaters, if you could imagine such a thing. And I'm watching a couple of them because I find it amazing, especially the women. You got these good-looking girls, that are fit. You have to be working out. And they're eating monstrous amounts of food in a short period of time as part of a challenge. And guys, too. And I'm thinking to myself, you're not eating all that food because you're hungry. You're doing it as a goof, as a challenge to get a free t-shirt and a free meal. When 12 people could have eaten that. And I can show you 11 people that haven't eaten well in the last 2 days. So even that stuff, I can't tolerate that excess and that waste. If you have that much money to run a friggin' 30-second ad, let's reprioritize. I go to a grocery store earlier just to get some cat food and dog food. Would you like to donate $1 to this? I'm getting hammered for $1 every place I go. Why in the hell are these people, and again, I know they do contribute to organizations or whatever the case may be. It's just the most ridiculous numbers that you can't justify to me. You'll never justify it to me. But at the end of the day, let's assume we take a LeBron James 10 years ago and tell him maximum you're ever going to make in this league is $750,000. Which other job was he going to go to and make that money? I'll wait. Pretty sure he didn't finish med school. He didn't have his doctorate in physicist. So he's not going to go building plutonium bombs or any of that kind of stuff. So yeah, you're going to make $750,000. You're going to be fucking happy you did. $750,000 a year. Barring injury, you got a 10, 15-year career. Spend your money wisely, save it, invest it. You'll be set. By the way, anyone in the chat right now making $750 million a year? Just let me know because I'll monetize. I'll do videos just for you. I'll have a special. Look, I know Gretzky's going to be. He is the ultimate. What's the word I'm looking for? Ambassador for the game. And he's always going to be a class act again. That's why I love the guy. I cried his last game playing for the Rangers because I knew that was the end of an era. I've always hated the Capitals ever since Dale Hunter took a cheap shot on Pierre Turgeon of my New York Islanders 5 seconds after he scored a goal. And I know Ovechkin wasn't on that team at that time, but it's just guilt by association for me. You're on the Capitals. You're a piece of shit. And like I said, Ovechkin is not the caliber of Gretzky in the sense that he ain't writing checks to his teammates. He's not an ambassador for the game. Gretzky was always an ambassador, long before he retired. And again, Gretzky had this amazing relationship with Gordie Howe. Gordie was part of Gretzky's life when he was growing up playing as a kid because Gordie saw him and realized this guy's got it. This kid's got it. Nowadays, they pay for potential signing these inflated long-term contracts. Back in the 70s and 80s, they got paid based on performance. Hey, what a novel idea, huh? Paid on performance. Wow. We should try that in, like, all aspects of the world. What do you think? Like, all jobs, you know, based on your actual ability to perform the task. Maybe pay you based on your experience and your track record. Oh, no, wait a minute. We really need someone who's a certain color and sex. And it would help a lot if you could pretend that you think you're the other sex than what you are. That's the person I need for the job. I think I remember a president not too long ago saying it has to be a black female to be my running mate. Not that it has to be the best candidate or the most qualified person. It has to be a black female. I said, man, we've lost our country. Fucking logic. Prime time, I only speak facts. Unlike all these people who say, well, here's my truth. There is no your truth. Every time I hear that, I want to grab the person by the throat. There is only truth. Not your truth, not my truth. There is the truth. It is based on fact that we can look at, dissect, ascertain, and prove beyond a reasonable doubt. My truth is I feel like I'm a woman, so I am. No, your truth is you have a mental illness. That is the truth. No, but Saga, I can tell you right now, there's two of them that are 100% legit. Two of them 100% legit. You got to remember, these restaurants have these challenges all over the place. They're in the actual restaurant. There's one with a girl, and I think it's Katina counts kilos or something like that, or eats kilos, something to that effect. And this other guy, I want to say his name is Joel Hansen, if I'm not mistaken. Kind of looks almost like he could have been in Wham back in the 80s. There's something about him that doesn't just sit well with me. I don't know what it is. He's just got too much. He has this weird smile thing going on all the time. Like I said, all right, so all these people are watching, all these advertisers are there. That means that you should get a pretty good deal on your shoes. Nike should want you to wear their shoes, and Nike can pay you $1 million. That's all good. It won't affect the cost of me walking in the door to pay a ticket to watch a game. I can now bring my family of 4 to a game, and it'll only cost me about $45 to $75 for a reasonable seat, as opposed to $200 for a shit seat. It's not that I want to necessarily protect it. I don't want it being taken away by somebody who's of lesser quality or caliber of a person. It wasn't the record that made Gretzky great. It was Gretzky that made the record great. He was such a class act. He was always a team first player. He was the most unselfish athlete you will ever see. He took more out of an assist than a goal. I'll wait while you tell me who in the NFL, the NBA, the NHL today. Go for it. Tell me who has that mentality today. Other than Caitlin Clark, I'll give Caitlin that. Maybe that's why I'm drawn to her. Miracle, what's happening? I've just been screwing around a little bit with the game, and then we got all kinds of caught up in different talk. Yeah, the beard versus food dude, I've seen him too. I can't watch him, though, because getting that food all up in the beard makes me want to just puke. It's like, oh, that's disgusting. But it's the same logic, though. It's like, you're not eating because, oh, my God, I've been on an island for the last 8 months, and they just brought me to shore. I am starving. All right, I can deal with that. Or if you have some weird biological condition where you burn thousands of calories in an hour and you have to eat like that to just maintain it. All right, you got to do what you got to do. But just because they say, hey, here's a free t-shirt if you can eat this, and you're eating enough food for a t-shirt where you could have had 6 people eating. You got an autographed hockey puck. Look at you, man. I have a nicely framed Gretzky photograph that he signed. I didn't get it signed personally. It was through one of those reputable dealers. I'm trying to remember what this... It has a message on it now. Haven't really looked at it closely in a little while. But I don't recall. I've got out my hallway right out here, though. It's the Gretzky years is what it's called. And it's a collage of all the uniforms he's worn over the years, and it's really well done. It hides my breaker box. But Gretzky, man, he was the man. He really was. I haven't watched enough. I mean, again, I know of Ovechkin. I've probably was still watching hockey. I was when he was playing Ovechkin. I probably gave up on hockey. The hockey was the last one I gave up on. And that would have been about 3 years ago, I guess. Whenever the Islanders decided that they were leaving the Nassau Coliseum to go to this new building that they couldn't win a game in for the first 2 months. I'm a big loyalist. It's like when you leave your city, you're dead to me. If you were my team especially. But like when the Cleveland Browns became the Baltimore Ravens, I was like, fuck you. I wasn't even a Browns fan, but I kind of liked them. A friend of mine was a diehard Browns fan. And they were kind of like the lovable losers, kind of like the Chicago Cubs. But when they moved the Browns, it's like, and even when they brought a new team into Cleveland and gave them the Browns name, it's like, you're really not the Browns. The Browns went to Baltimore. Oh, and by the way, then you win a Super Bowl. When the Orlando Magic, Bill DeVos, came to the city and said, okay, well, I need you to build me a new arena or I'm not staying. I'm going to go to St. Louis. I'm like, bye. That arena wasn't even 20 years old. It was a phenomenal sports arena. Phenomenal concert arena. I love that fucking building so much. And that's not the problem. The problem is you can't keep any fucking talent. Shaq and Penny go to the finals. We're right. All right, we lost 4 in a row, but that's all right. You learn from that shit. We're going to win 5 in a row. Oh, wait a minute. Shaq left. Penny left. Horace Grant done. It's like you couldn't keep a team together. Then you get, what's his name? Dwight Howard. And you start getting back in the picture again. And Dwight's like, I want to go play for somebody else. Whether it's weak coaching. I mean, I was a Brian Hill fan as a coach back when Shaq and Penny went to the finals. But was he the best option? Probably not for a young team that had the ability to win the championship in their first year. So your track record as an organization is you got to the big dance and lost 4 straight. And by the way, you had game 1 won. You were walking out up 1-0 in game 1 on your home court until you forgot how to play for about 40 seconds and just watched them take the game away from you. So that's your track record, and you're going to hold hostage and make demands that we get this or else? Fuck off and go. No, they built them a new arena. And it wasn't even a good arena. This arena, I swear to God, I had already given up on the Magic a long time before that. When Shaq and Penny left, I was done. Everything about how it happened just did not resonate well with me. I was a season ticket holder, got rid of those, and just never went back again for another game. So here comes this new arena. I want to check it out. I'm not going to go for the Magic. Went to see WWE. That was the night that The Miz would cash in and become the world champion with that little girl with that sour puss on her face in the audience. That night I was there. And it was our first night of WWE in the new Orlando arena. And I'm in that building, and I went with a friend. And I'm looking at her, and I was like, does this feel like an arena to you? She's like, no, I feel like I'm in my fucking living room. I said, thank you. After that, the Magic started playing their season there a few months later. And I wasn't watching, but I'm listening to talk radio. And they're talking about the fact that the Magic players are calling out the fans. You guys aren't getting rowdy. You're not, being loud like you were last year and the year before and all the other years. And the fans are calling into the radio show because I'm in my fucking living room. I don't feel like I'm in an arena. It's not an arena. It doesn't feel like a sports facility. If you've never been there, and they did this by design on purpose, you could be in the cheap seat all the way to the back, and you're relatively, comparative to, like a Madison Square Garden or whatever else you want to say, you're closer to the ring or the concert stage or the court than you would necessarily be at all these other venues, including the old Orlando Arena. But it's because the slope is so steep. Like when you climb up to that second or third level, you're getting a workout in. I mean, you're on a Stairmaster. And God forbid you had one extra beer and you slip. If you're lucky, you'll be in a coma. Realistically, you're probably going to have a broken neck and be dead. I mean, it's a pretty legit steep hill. But again, yeah, you kind of feel like we're all snuggled together in a what were those blankets that you wear, bullshits with the sleeves on them? The comfies or the whatever. I mean, it feels like you're all wrapped up in this nice little blanket with everybody, and the last thing you're thinking about doing is hooting and hollering, acting a fool for your football or your basketball team. Minnesota North Stars, perfect example. I was a North Stars fan. Matter of fact, their last year, they did what the Islanders did their last year in the old barn there, the Nassau Coliseum. The Islanders last year in the Nassau Coliseum, they put on a good run for the Cup. And they got past the first round. I think they might have even got past the second round. I don't recall. And then didn't make it past the third round, if memory serves right. But they had a team. And I've always said the history of that building, it feeds you. The ghosts, call it what you want. There's an aura about the Nassau Coliseum in hockey. Always has been, always will be. And then you took all your banners and you put them up over in the Polo Grounds. And you started your season in October. And you had to play, if I'm not mistaken, 12 games before you won one in your home building. So you were 0-12 at home. With the same basic team that just almost went to the Stanley Cup Finals. You didn't lose a whole lot of talent. You always, and that's another reason I don't like the sports anymore. You used to have the same fucking team for years. It wasn't this hot potato bullshit where every year it's a whole new lineup. There's no loyalty. There's no loyalty with the owners. They threaten to pull out and move to another city. No loyalty with the players. They just go wherever the paycheck is. There's no loyalty. So why would I support that? I won't. I don't. And that's when you're talking about kneeling for national anthems and all this other bullshit. When The Miz and John Morrison were originally tagging up, I remember talking to my friends and now being very wrong, but I thought that Miz was going to be out of the company within a year. Well, as we all know, as history says, John Morrison was going to become a megastar. You know what? Damn. John Morrison and Dolph Ziggler. What the fuck? Why these two guys did not have... At least with Morrison, I can say he wasn't great on the stick. He was just average. But in the ring, come on. The guy was really good. Now with Dolph Ziggler, he's a total package. In the ring, phenomenal. On the stick, phenomenal. You can say he's not exactly 250 pounds. Neither was Rey Mysterio. Didn't stop them. If you're over, you're over. Hell, by the way, Shawn Michaels... You can announce him at 225 all day long. On his best day, he might have worked in at 195, maybe. He never broke 200. Not in the real world. But he was over. It didn't matter. He was great on the stick. The Miz. If not for his mouth, he wouldn't have had the success he had. He doesn't have a particular look. Hell, back then with Morrison in the first one, he had that stupid hat and the chick magnet shirt. I mean, it's a miracle. You should have been right. For all intents and purposes, you should have been right. He should have been gone. And as for the comments like Daniel Bryan made about he works safe and he's soft or whatever, which a lot of that was a shoot. They were really taking shots at each other in that. I never watched the Miz match and felt like he's phoning it in or he's not putting 100%. So if he has a way of doing it where he doesn't get injured, I thought that was the name of the game. Correct me if I am wrong, but I thought that's the way it's supposed to be. Primetime, I agree. Dolph Ziggler is when he left the WWE, and I heard he was going to TNA, which was still Impact at that time, and it was like a month before they were coming back to my facility for their TV tapings. I was like, oh God, I'm going to get to meet him, and I did. Good thing about working there is I'm in the building at 1:00 in the afternoon, same as they are, and he was just like walking through the lobby, and I just talked to him for a few minutes. I said, I'm so happy that you decided to come here because I've been watching for a long time. I've been disgusted with how they've used you, and I know you're going to get a good run here, and I'm looking forward to it. And he was just so cool, easy to talk to, nicest guy, and couldn't be happier for all the success he has had. He's made his money. He doesn't need the WWE paycheck. He's still probably getting a decent enough paycheck where he's at. He's still doing his comedy. He can show up at other companies and work indie shows if he wants to. So it just should have been a better. You can't say he didn't have a good career in the WWE because he was there for over a decade. And he did win the world title, albeit for a minute. But it should have been longer. I mean, he should have had a run as a champion and would have worked. But that's just me. What do I know? What do I know? I'll say one thing. Ever since the election night and knowing we were going to have some sort of adults back in charge of shit, I've been able to bring myself back to letting myself have some fun. Those of you who've been around a minute, you know what I'm talking about. And I've watched more wrestling in the last 2 months than the last 2 years. In all kinds. Whether it's, I won't watch AEW. I said wrestling, okay? But I've been, this LFG, I keep saying it, I'll keep saying it. If you're not watching the LFG show, you're missing out. It's reality TV, so we know it's scripted, and it's wrestling, so we know it's scripted to a degree. Some of it's not, and I truly believe that the coaching aspect of it, I think that's all 100% legit, the advice they're giving them, and that's, for me, back when 2020 did the interview and Eddie Mansfield showed John Stossel how it's all done and showed him the blade and all that stuff, we already knew that wrestling couldn't be 100% legit because these guys would be dead. But this part's not real, but this part is. Well, after that one, okay, it's all fucked up and fake, but it's still good entertainment. But from that moment on, my interest in wrestling flipped to what happens in front of the cameras to what happens behind the cameras. That's more intriguing to me. Developing storylines, taking characters and making them come to life, helping other people develop those characters, getting more out of it than they saw in it themselves. The stuff that Dusty was so great at. Seeing, backstage relationships where, hey, some of these people genuinely just rub each other the wrong way. Now, if you're watching LFG, there's one guy there who's clearly been cast as the overall villain and the dick and all that. That's scripted shit, and I know it is. Because if it weren't, he wouldn't even be on the show. You can't talk that way to Bubba Ray and still be in the Performance Center unless it's scripted. I'm not sure you could have cut the promo on CM Punk unless it was scripted. That's still a I'm not so sure moment. It was a great promo. And that's what I'm saying. If you're not watching the show, I would go out of my way if I were you to catch up. Yeah, you know what? I don't see Ziggler being in the Hall of Fame. I'm not saying he shouldn't be. I'm not saying I wouldn't put him in. But when it comes to the WWE's imaginary Hall of Fame, I don't imagine he's going to be getting called up to the stage. I hope I'm wrong. He definitely has earned it. By God. I just don't see that I never felt like they viewed him as that valuable a player. ROW. I'm not even familiar with that one. Evolve, I'm familiar with. Haven't really watched that one. I have not seen Zilla Fatu, although I got a funny feeling I haven't seen a match of his, but I may have seen a clip or something recently. It's not coming back to me as to what exactly, but it definitely had the look of a Samoan, and there was something about that he might be part of the bloodline in the future. So I know that he's another one of the family members in some form of indie wrestling or something to that effect. TNA, MLW. I still can't really get into MLW. I used to be into it a lot, but ever since they became, Lucha Underground 2.0, I was like, nah, sorry, that already had its day. I felt like they gave up their identity to steal someone else's, and it just didn't work for me. Oh, Reality of Wrestling. Wasn't that the really failed program by E3? And I'm trying to remember who else was like kind of owners or whatever the hell you want to call it. I think Ryback might have been involved in that. Am I talking about the same one, or is there another one? I know one of you guys out there is going to know what I'm talking about. E3 had started after he got cut from the WWE, where we're not going to have storylines, or we're not going to what we're just going to go in there and have matches, and they're not going to be scripted or anything. Booker's Wrestling. I have not watched it, but Booker's shown that he's a great coach, so I have no doubt that he's got some really good stuff to show. Control Your Narrative. Thank you. I know you guys are going to be there for me. Control Your Narrative. EC3, that's it. Okay, that's what I was confused. Reality of Wrestling, Control Your Narrative. Yeah, because that abomination didn't last long at all. Matter of fact, I think it made 2 shows, and that was it. So far as Reality of Wrestling, is that something like, is it on YouTube? Do they have their own show on YouTube? Or how would you watch a weekly episode? Or is there even a weekly episode program? But no, I have not. Clearly, I have not watched theirs. I've been getting into, it's kind of the reason why I'm doing IWF. I've been getting into the companies that had a relatively short lifespan, but did some decent stuff in it. IWF being one of them, the XWF another one. Drawing a blank right now, but there's a couple of others out there. You could even say the UWF to a degree, the Herb Abrams. I don't know that I'd say it was good wrestling at all, and there were so many horrible, horrible decisions made. You got too much apple bit soup going on for me. AOP were a part of CYN. I feel like I'm reading the lyrics to a Michael Jackson song. You got to love me, AOP, with CYN. It's probably better with Echo. You got to love me. Not familiar with any of those letters. Mr. Miracle or Miss Miracle. I don't know who Miracle is. If you're a dude or a dudette, I don't know. I'm presuming dude because 90% of my audience is. I'm going with the numbers and the likeliness here, folks. Reality of Wrestling got some hot wrestlers they should be NXT soon. Yeah, I mean, that's the whole thing when you got a guy like Booker T doing that. And, of course, he has all the connections already. So all you got to do is, hey, Sean, man, I got this play you got to see. Oh, yeah, man, you got to know Michael, man. Yeah, I figured you were a dude, man. I didn't want to presume nothing, you know. But based on my statistics here, when I look at my ratings and all this stuff and break down some numbers once in a while, just out of curiosity, it's like, you have this many male members of your audience and this many female. And funny thing about YouTube is they never got around to people who identify as this or that or the other thing. There was never like a LGBTQ rating or anything, which I'm thankful for. I'm still old school. You can only be one or the other, and that's it. Let me throw a match up here. We can still chat. Let's do this. Go with that one. Oh, it's keeping tracks of wins and losses? Really? Hello, I'd never noticed that before. Damn, I like that. Huh. Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and add that to my watch list and let it come through.
The following is scheduled for one fall, making his way to the ring from Robbinsdale, Minnesota, weighing in at 240 pounds, one half of the Tag Team Champions, Ravishing.
Damn, we hitting 2 hours. No shit. Good conversations. Oh, Zilla Fatu is in Reality of Wrestling. How about that? Oh, I am subscribed to them. Shows what I know. Well, I guess maybe I need to go by and watch some of their programs then. Fatu is Umaga's son. Well, he's got the bloodline there. No pun intended. I've never been super into Naomi. I don't know what it is. I think the whole glow thing was a little goofy. I really lost some respect for her when she went. I thought I picked one of the other attires. Matter of fact, I did. Although it works out in this match. Santana with the flying head scissor takedown. When she went to Impact Wrestling and then basically kept the entire gimmick, which I was surprised she was allowed to do. But the whole idea of you leaving the WWE, and correct me if I'm wrong, that was her decision, is that you're going to, at least to some degree, reinvent yourself. And if you get over then you know you did it on your own. And I'm not going to sit here and say Sasha Banks reinvented herself, because going from the boss to the CEO, last I checked, the CEO's the boss. Her entrance is exactly the same. Her mannerisms are all the same. Her moveset's all the same. She just does funky shit to her hair now. Oh, Billy Corgan destroyed the NWA. He had him going in a decent direction right up to COVID. And then COVID shut him down, and he never recovered from that. He lost a lot of talent. He lost Ricky Starks. He lost Eli Drake. He lost a lot of names, man. They were never the same after that. When you got to put the tag team titles on the Rock and Roll Express at 68 years of age. Well, it's not that they can't license the music. They just don't see the value in spending that much money, because that brings up the cost of the video game. It's like the whole woke disaster with the Snow White movie that just destroyed Disney, where they're going to lose about $300 million when it's all said and done. Well, I think it was $225 million was the cost of the movie, but they've spent over $100 million in advertising and promotion. Damn, that doesn't look good at all. What's up with the gay pin, man? Yeah, all that dubbing of music on the network just, ugh. But I get it. They have to pay the money. That's why Ronda Rousey, when she was in the video game and they had her theme song in there, it was only for her entrance, and that's it. You couldn't put it into the jukebox mode. You couldn't put it to another wrestler or a created wrestler. It was literally tied just to her, because they got a lower fee to only use 30 seconds of the song. And all that comes out of the sales at the end of the day, so. Come on, Tito, put him away. Figure four is on him. The Ravishing One in trouble. He can't reach the ropes. What the hell happened there? Santana just gave it up. Oh, he's going to do more damage to the knee. Smart. Inverted figure four. Wow, he's really doing a number on this. Softening him up. Hey, just a quick reminder, tomorrow morning, 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Saturday morning, Superstars of Wrestling returns, and Santana gets the win. That makes him 4-0. We have got a great show on tap for you tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. right here on the Nation Network, so make sure you set your alarm. Be with us live. It's a premiere, which means I will do my best. Last week I wasn't able to be there for it. I am hoping to be there tomorrow for at least some of it, if not all of it. No, the actual Ravishing Rick Rude song, it's a burlesque song. It's been around for, shit, almost as long as Happy Birthday. And I remember when the Boy Scouts and weren't allowed to sing certain songs that we grew up singing, and then restaurants were no longer allowed to come out and sing Happy Birthday to people that were celebrating their birthday. They had to come up with their own birthday songs. It's like we've lost our fucking minds. Yeah, I'm going to try and keep the Saturday morning thing going straight through. I'm hoping I can do that. The fact that it's pre-recorded and then I just kind of throw it up there. I was almost going to do another one today and just be like a couple weeks ahead of time, but I felt like doing this. Yeah, the Blackjacks, period. They were just a couple of badass sons of bitches. And big as friggin' houses, man. They were big dudes. Let's do... Oh, by the way, I just unlocked this one. They have a new locker code out. Wow, I never noticed the win-losses before, and I don't even remember anyone bringing it up. I don't even remember Smack Talk mentioning this. I wonder if it's something... Huh. Anyway, this was a locker code that I guess just came out in the last 24 hours. I don't recall what it is exactly. It's something about... It's like the path to WrestleMania, but it's not the path. You'll just Google it; it'll be there. Actually, I'll Google it right now because it's kind of bugging me. Hold on. Get ready for WrestleMania. So it's Get Ready, the number 4, and WM. That is the newest locker code, and that'll get you this one here. I'd pay to see that. Let's see what happens under Bloodline Rules match. Easy for me to say. I recently bought these little clips that you can stick onto a desk or anything, really. And they're magnet clips that open up a hinge type of situation, and you can put your wires in there. And you can pop them in and out real easy. But if you have like multiple wires, maybe you got an iPhone charger, and then you got a headphones that's wired in, they can each have their own separate one that just kind of slides nicely in and out of there, or you can just pop it open and do it. I am so glad I bought those. They're cheap as shit. And everything is much neater now. Wires aren't getting caught up and tangled up and having to be undone. Well, you noticed it in day one. I'm noticing it now a month in. Oh, yeah. My favorite pack is not until November, which sucks. I guess it's something to look forward to, but yeah. And I'm still hopeful that they're going to do a Saturday night main event, old school arena. Like the old Nassau Coliseum from episode 1 with the white tarp logo hanging off the apron that didn't even go post to post. It was just in the middle hanging there. They used that same one for probably the first 3 or 4 Saturday Night Main Events. Well, while these guys are getting in the ring, I'm going to go grab a beer. I'll be right back. And we're back. I have to make a trip to the store tomorrow because I got only 2 cans left. A real American beer, brother. I do love this shit. I'd given up beer years ago. I'd have one every so often, but I could go months without a beer. Now I'm buying a case a week. Or I'm sorry, 12-pack. 12-pack a week. Let's see what happens here. When the bloodline, I can't say it, man. Bloodline. The bloodline rules apply. I have not done a bloodline match, I don't think, since maybe the first day, the launch of the game. What are we doing? Breaking the face? Uh-oh. Is it a Shield reunion? Seth Rollins has hit the ring. Where's Dean Ambrose? I really feel like this mode has not been well fleshed out. a stomp. He's going to try and take advantage of the situation. And the save. All right, I like that. Definitely turned the tide of this one. Punk going to go for the Anaconda. Referee's right there, and the save again. Seth gets dumped. Punk is waiting. Is it going to be time to go to sleep? Oh, it's a knockout blow. Save made again, but Roman's been busted open, and now what? Jey Uso hits the ring. Spear! Okay, that wasn't bad either. We have got pandemonium. It's inside the ring. It's outside the ring. And Seth Rollins right now is person non grata. Meantime, back in the ring with our main participants. A bloody Roman Reigns catches CM Punk off the ropes. Round the world sidewalk slam. And now Roman going under the ring with the kendo stick. If I'm CM Punk, I'm calling in that favor right now. By the way, what is the favor? Getting into the main event, he says, oh, and by the way, that's not the favor. I'm like, oh, man, you just made that matter. I'm not sure how this became his phone a friend over here. Oh, shit, now what? Who the fuck? Oh. What are we doing here? Who's whose friend at this point? Oh, Roman is caught. You got the Wyatt Six coming to the aid of CM Punk. Punk looking to steal one. And he does. The bloodline rules not enough. Are we giving him the Ulafala? Can you put that on the line? I never even tried to see. Is that an option? I mean, I know it's in the wardrobe section where you can apply it to something, but I've got a funny feeling we're not going to know nothing about this secret till after Mania. I think it's going to have something to do with the fallout. It's got to be something really good, though, because otherwise this buildup is for nothing. Imagine if it turns out to be a fart. But when he said that at the end, because, I mean, we're all presuming, I think, the same thing. Him being in the main event, that's the favor. I want to be part of the main event of WrestleMania. And then when he says, that's not the favor, I'm like, oh, shit, there's more. I got to admit, that was a fun little match. Not bad. Alrighty, well, it is getting late. I've got laundry to do. I put it off a whole week because I just didn't feel like it. As I still got stuff in the closet. I'm good. So I'm going to get going. But again, tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, please set your watches or your phones. Nobody uses a watch anymore, right? Just me. And it does not have an alarm on it anyway. So, got to use your phone. Set your phones. 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Be here on the Nation Network. Join us. We'll have a good time. Old school wrestling. Saturday morning superstars of wrestling the way it used to be. Or at least as close as we can get with this game. All right, everybody. Thanks for hanging out with me today. This is all I kind of wanted to do is just chill out and bullshit, and we did all of that. And then some. People are saying Ball's getting a shot at the title on night 2. That's an interesting concept. I don't know how you're going to make that all happen, but tune in tomorrow for more information. No, I'm sure it's going to have something to do with the title shot, period, but are they doing Money in the Bank at WrestleMania, right? I'm not going crazy? I haven't heard a word about it. Because I thought for sure they were going to do WrestleMania or Money in the Bank at WrestleMania and that he was going to win the Money in the Bank and that was going to be his ticket. Because that would have been perfect. He wouldn't even have to wrestle the match. He could just wait till the match is all over and then the champion is celebrating, whoever that is, and maybe it was Cena, got his 17th, and all of a sudden, boom, Punk comes in and steals it from him. It's going to be interesting. And I'm pretty sure somehow or another, I'm running out of options. Got to see what's happening with Money in the Bank, I guess. All right, folks, I got to go. See you guys tomorrow morning, 9 a.m. right here. I'll be in the chat. I'm almost positive. If not, it means something at work went really sideways and I'm busy. But usually around 9 to 10 o'clock, I'm not too busy and I can hang out. All right, take care, guys. See you tomorrow. See you soon. XWF is next on the agenda. That'll probably be on Sunday is the plan as of now. Until then, take care, be safe. I'll see you right here ringside.